Hey, it's Bradley Butin, the Emperor of Awesome, and welcome to Lunch Break Reviews, your weekly bite-sized breakdown of movies, TV, and comics. Every Sunday, I take one title, dig into what the internet is saying, and rate their takes using the haterade scale. Then I serve up my own review using the lunch break point system from plot, acting, entertainment, visuals, and rewatchability, and see where I rank with IMDb, Letterboxd, and Rotten Tomatoes. So whether it's a masterpiece or microwave trash, I'll help you decide if it's worth packing in your lunch tomorrow. Well, let's see what's in the brown bag of goodness this week. All right, and this week is I Know What You Did Last Summer. That is right, it's back. It was this or Smurfs, and I really didn't have any desire to see the Smurfs movie. I don't know, a lot of people say it's good, but I just don't know if I believe that yet. So we'll see how it goes. All right. It is what it is. All right, cool. Let's talk a little bit about I Know What You Did Last Summer, and we're going to start off with a quick synopsis. A group of friends are terrorized by a stalker who knows about a gruesome incident from their past. All right, sounds ominous, doesn't it? It does. All right, the creatives of this is written and directed by Jennifer Payton Robinson from Do Revenge. I have not seen that, but from what I hear, it's actually a pretty good movie. I'm probably going to check that out. She also wrote Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay. Thor: Love and Thunder is one of my guilty pleasures. I understand there's not many people that love that movie, but it's also about a guy and his dad, or a dude and his daughter, and I'm a girl dad, so you know what? That's what it is. Also, she wrote Someone Great. Main stars and where IMDb thinks you might know them from. We're gonna start with Madeline Klein, Glass on Outer Banks, which she's great in that. Stranger Things and Boy Erased. Chase Sui Wonders plays Ava. Bodies. Great, love that. The Studio. Never watched it. I'm not a huge Seth Rogen fan. Seth Rogen stuff is either really good or just like I don't like it, and I just haven't had a chance yet to check it out. Trivial Exclusion and On the Rocks. Jonah Howard King plays Milo, and you would recognize them from The Little Mermaid, The Little Woman, Rich Flew, A Dog's Way Home. Tyreek Withers plays Teddy from Atlanta, upcoming movie Him, Tell Me Lies, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. This current one, new guy, up and coming, he was probably my favorite part of the movie as well. So I'll get into that. Sarah Pigeon plays Stevie from Tiny Beautiful Things. She was in Gotham, Lazarus, and Born to Lose. Billy Campbell plays Grant. You would recognize him from The Rocketeer. He is the Rocketeer. That one kind of blew my mind. Dracula, Enough, and Cardinal. Freddie Prinze Jr. from She's All That, Scooby-Doo, and the originals of the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And also Jennifer Love Hewitt from the I Know What You Did Last Summer's Heartbreakers and the Tuxedo. Great movie. I forgot all about that movie. I probably need to rewatch it. Sometimes you just need a good watch of some good Jackie Chan flicks. Okay. With that being said, it is time for the taste test. What is the taste test? This is where I'm just going to go over some critic reviews and just see what the critics are saying about this movie. We're going to start with Lady Geneva. It says, this movie expands the familiar formula of a vengeful fisherman by adding the nostalgia sense of humor seen in classic stories of the highs and lows of feminine friendship. I think it's fair to say the divas are up. All right. Elliot Colleen from Movie File says, I swear the writers must have watched hours of TikToks, then transcribed the comments section directly onto a script page. Every line felt like a desperate attempt to sound relatable, resulting in one cringeworthy scene after another. Chris Joyce from Movies and Munchies says, uneven tension, unoriginal depths, and a complete lack of surprise, creating a boring story that mainly exists on nostalgia bait. This tries way too hard to be relevant and current, all while missing the creativity to provide something engaging. That's a hiccup. Okay. Derek Murray from Nerdbot says, I know what you did last summer feels more unnecessary than even the most unnecessary sequels out there. It has forgettable second screen watchability and is hardly fit for the big screen. And last, I have Shirai Bohanan from Horror Press says, I know what you did last summer, knows what it inherited and tries to connect all the dots while fighting to become its own thing. It is not here to reinvent the wheel or give you a nightmare. This movie is a camp diva. All right. Okay. So there's the critics. It is time to find out what the audience is saying. And then we're going to rate it on the Haterade scale. The Haterade scale is a 4-level scale going from Lemonade, Classic Haterade, a double shot of dumbass, and Toxic Fandom. Up first, we start bad and we work our way up. I got a 1 out of 10 from J7LR. And this one is simply titled, I know what reboot shouldn't have been made this summer. This reboot is what happens when you dig up a franchise, forget why it worked in the first place, and hand it over to people who think twist just means make no sense. The script is pure chaos. Scenes stumble into each other with no logic. Characters talk like teenagers, but look like they have mortgages. And the ending feels like it wandered in from a completely different movie. Let's talk about that ending. Actually, because apparently the filmmakers didn't, it has zero connection to the title. I kept waiting for something clever or satisfying, but all I got was a confused shrug in cinematic form. The plot twists, hilariously bad, one after another. They trip over themselves, trying to be edgy. It's like someone dared the writers to come up with the most ridiculous terms possible, and then forget to check if they actually fit the story. What's worse is that they play it all completely straight, as if they're making a dark, serious thriller. Newsflash, when your horror movie starts feeling like unintentional parody, it's time to change genres. Honestly, they should have just embraced the mess and gone full-on horror comedy. At least then we'd be laughing with them instead of them. Final word, watch it if you're in the mood for a train wreck with delusions of death. Otherwise, do yourself a favor and forget this will never happen. You'll thank yourself this summer. All right, let's take a look. Okay, lemonade would be a sweet, something sour, sometimes sour, but mostly refreshing. A classic hater, which is probably where I would put this at salty, sharp, and maybe a little too confident. Definitely don't think it's a double shot of dumbass or toxic fandom here. They just didn't like the movie, and that's 100% okay. Classic haterade, there's nothing wrong with it. All right, next I have a 2 out of 10 from B.A. Harrison in his title. I know what they messed up this summer. Slashers of the 80s gave us classic killers Jason, Michael, Cropsy, the Miner, creative gory kills, preferably by FX legend Tom Savini, and gratuitous nudity. Usually a shower scene or some gratuitous skinny dipping. The 90s, on the other hand, weren't so great. After Scream revitalized the genre, we got to spat of a dime teen-friendly slashers that largely skimped on the good stuff. I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 is a sequel reboot of such 90s slashers, only it's far worse than the original. It's bland, uninspired, and totally dumb. The blame for this yawn-inducing exercise in barrel scraping goes to writer-director Jennifer Caton Robinson, who rehashes the basic plot from the first film but injects zero tension or scares and botches all of the kills, giving us virtually no gore. The only graphic moment achieved via some ropey CGI. And the only bare chests in this one are from the guys. Robinson's film also boasts one of the worst dream sequences I have ever seen. It features Sarah Michelle Gellar, who appeared in the original movie and who's still looking great after all these years, turning into a hilarious talking corpse through the use of more terrible digital trickery. Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. also return to reprise their roles, but they haven't aged as well. The terrible script is full of clunky dialogue and laughable plot turns, and Robinson wraps things up with a clumsy piece of character assassination guaranteed to upset fans of the franchise. Apparently, there's an end credit scene, no surprise there, but I didn't hang around to see it. I wanted out of the cinema as quickly as possible. Okay, this one here, again, it's fine. They called out a couple things. I get it. They're going to a horror movie to see boobs, whatever. For that, you do get a 3. Double shot of dumbass. Wild logic. Personal text. We're losing touch with reality here. Not every horror movie has to have a shower scene or skinny dipping scene or anything like that. It's 2025, guys. Get with it. It's fine. Okay, next. I have a 5 out of 10 from Xander88. And there's warning spoilers on this one. I am not quite sure how I feel about it yet. Generally, it was well directed and the cast was appealing enough. I also feel like Jennifer Keaton Robinson was trying to go for pure 90s camp, and she does manage that from time to time. Jennifer and Freddie are really good in this and well incorporated in the story, and it was nice to see them again. The pacing is off sometimes, and the characters weren't as interesting in their more dialogue-heavy scenes, and it's also too long. The kill scenes are mostly fun and well done, though I wish I would have gotten a great chase sequence, seeing that Jennifer Robinson seems to be such a fan of these movies. She really should have incorporated one into the movie. Overall, I'd say it's a good 5 or maybe not so good 6 out of 10. Now, to the spoilers. Ray being the killer was quite the choice. I respect her for doing it, but she should have given him a better motive than it doesn't quite sit right with me yet. Maybe on the rewatch. Stevie's motive almost felt urban legend-like, but I enjoyed Sarah Pigeon's performance. In cameos, guys, SMG is the movie in a dream sequence. Yes, shows Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I literally grinned through the entire scene. And that Brandy mid-credit scenes cameo was also so much fun, and it was a good seeing her, though I don't know if this was actually an attempt for a possible sequel. Okay, again, you know what? Nothing is sticking out at this that I'm going to hit it on. I think it's fine. This isn't toxic or anything like that. This one is going to be a 2. Classic haterade. We're going to start working our way up now. I got a 9 out of 10. This one is from Joshua Randall Firth. 9 out of 10. And this one is titled The Follow-Up Fans Deserve: Brutal, Fun, and Satisfying. No spoilers on this one. The original 1997 film and its 1998 sequel were both successful because of the lovable cast and characters, the story, the tone, the atmosphere, the intensity of the kills, the chase sequences, the mystery, and of course the killer reveal. It's hard to recreate that, but somehow I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 succeeded in every way. The cast are all sensational at making the characters likable in their own unique ways. The kills are brutal, the chase sequences are intense, and the overall mystery is fun, an enticing story that has the essence of the original, whilst not being a direct copy and paste. The biggest standout of the film is that it is unpredictable. With this many slashers, remakes, and standalone films made over the past 25 years, it is hard to make sequences unpredictable and unique. But the film does an incredible job of making you think you know what's going to happen, but then goes in a completely different direction. Obviously, we have to talk about the return of Julie James, Jennifer Love Hewitt, and Ray Bronson, Freddie Prinze Jr. After watching the trailers, most people would admit that going into the film, they didn't expect much screen time for the legacy cast. Once again, it was unpredictable as Julie and Ray became a part of the story and have a surprising amount of screen time and relevance to the overall plot. Jennifer Love Hewitt is an outstanding performer proven by her own successful career. However, one small critique would be that the script didn't quite capture the essence of Julie James, but Jennifer Love Hewitt does her best of bringing back the lovable final girl, and by the end of the film, it feels like Julie is on the screen and not Jennifer. It's hard to find big faults in the film, and there are only a minor flaws that could have elevated the film's intensity to a higher level. A few major sequences in the film's climax take place during the day. If these scenes had taken place at night, the darkness, the mystery of not being able to see everything would have made a huge impact on those scenes and the climax. All fans remember the terrifying chase sequence of Helen Shivers, Sarah Michelle Gellar, where she is being hunted by Ben Willis, Piers Watson, in his slicker with the iconic hook across the quiet streets of Southport. Fans also remember the horror of Julie and Ray being secluded in the dark on the killer's boat, surrounded by black water, with nothing in sight to help. The scenes in this 2025 film could have elevated the ferocity by having the isolation in the dark atmosphere that was so successful in the original two films. The only other critique would be that the ending was unnecessarily extended. Without spoilers, there are 3 scenes after the climax. 2 of those scenes seem out of place and completely pointless, leaving the ending of the film to the bizarre and unemotional. The credits roll and suddenly we're met with a mid-credit scene. It was a strange choice by the director to have a mid-credit scene that was undoubtedly one of the most exciting fan service scenes of the film that sets up a potential sequel. Instead of the underwhelming ending with the main cast, the mid-credit scene should have been the ending of the film. If they cut the useless additional scenes and had the mid-credit scene as the ending, the film wouldn't just have been a satisfying ending, it would have been gone out with a bang, leaving audiences excited about the possibility of a sequel. Overall, it's hard to find big faults. So with those minor details that could have taken the film up a level, I rate this as a 9 out of 10. The film was fun, intense, and captured the essence of the original I Know What You Did Last Summer. Alright, that was a lot to read. I do apologize for any mispronunciations. The haterade scale is fine. Again, 2 is classic haterade. Actually, probably more of a 1. This is limited, sweet, sometimes sour, but more refreshing. They didn't really add anything. They're not toxic fans. It's cool. And one more I have. Jaden 691 gives this a 10 out of 10. Titled Great Movie, a fresh take on a classic slasher. It delivers nostalgic thrills while updating the story for a new generation. Great tension, solid kills, and a surprisingly fun twist. Fans of the original should give it a chance. As someone who grew up in the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, I went into this reboot with cautious optimism, and I'm glad to say I came out pleasantly surprised. This new version stays true to the core premise, but builds on it in a way that makes it feel relevant to modern audiences. The pacing is tight, the cinematography is slick, and the atmosphere is loaded with that summer in a small town tension that made the original work. The cast does a great job, especially the lead, who brings just the right mix of vulnerability and determination. The friendships and secrets feel more layered this time around, giving the characters a bit more depth than you'd usually get in slashers. I actually cared about their survival, which added to the suspense during the kill scenes. Speaking of which, the kills are creative and brutal in all the right ways. and with enough suspense to keep you guessing without relying on cheap jump scares. There are a few genuinely tense moments that had me on the edge of my seat. The film also plays around with the expectations if you're familiar with the 1997 version, adding some smart twists that still manage to feel earned. The setting deserves a quick shout out too. The coastal town feels alive and eerie all at once, and it adds a lot of mood to the story. There's a scene at a local festival that's both fun and creepy, and it's clear the filmmakers knew how to use that location with part attention. Overall, I think this reboot does what all good remakes should do. It respects the original, but isn't afraid to carve out its own path. It's bloody, suspenseful, and surprisingly stylish. If you're a slasher fan, it's definitely worth checking out, or if you're a longtime fan of the franchise, you'll appreciate the nods to the past without feeling like it's just going through the motions. I'm honestly hoping this kickstarts a whole new run of sequels. Okay, haterade scale. Again, this is just, it's a nothing burger. This is a 1, this is lemonade. Sweet, sometimes sour, but mostly refreshing. With that, we've heard critics, we've heard from the audience. Do you agree with the reviews? Disagree with the reviews? Did they change your mind at all? Let me know in the comments. I would love to discuss these as well. Now it's time to go put this into the lunch break point system. But what is the lunch break point system? Lunch break point system is a unique lunch-themed rating system designed to help you decide if a movie, TV show is worth your time. Each title is scored across 5 key categories: plot, acting, entertainment, visuals, and rewatchability, with up to 5 points per category, totaling 25 points. Bonus points can be awarded for standout elements, movie fog, Oscar worthiness, or deducted for major missteps. Cringe factor. The final score determines if it's a packet or toss in the trash. Bad ones can ruin your day, so here we go. All right, this is going to be pretty easy, I think. Plot, what's the story here? It's fine. It's a retelling of the original, really. It didn't add anything for me, but I think it was better than average. I gave that a 3 out of 5 on that one. Next, acting. Did the actors do their job? Again, it was fine. It was not great. It wasn't amazing. It was better than okay. It was just okay, cool. I bought what they were selling. And that's the low point what you gotta do. Again, I'm gonna give it another 3 out of 5. Next, entertainment. Is this worth your time? Yeah. This one is worth your time. I agree. I gave this a 4 out of 5 because I had a great time watching this movie. Watched with my wife, watched with my kid. They had a good time. It kept me guessing. I liked it. I was entertained. What more can I ask for? The visuals here. Again, I'm going to go back to that. It was just good. It was okay. And lastly, rewatchability. Would I pack it? Would I watch it again? No. Is it going to get a 1 up for me on that one? But I will give this 1 bonus point for jump scares. I had a couple of jump scares that I did jump, so I'm going to give you a bonus point. All in all, this is going to be a 15 out of 26 points. And there you go, 15. So yeah, this is going to be this is a meh. It's in the middle. You know, it's could have been better, could have been worse. It's okay. It's all right. So let's find out where I rank among all of the other guys. And we're going to start with me, a 15 out of 25. IMDb is rating this at a 5.7 out of 10. 5.7 out of 10, so it's a little bit more than twice. I think I probably did a little bit better than IMDb ratings. Now the Metacritic score 43 out of 100. So this is even on the lower scale. That's on the Metacritic or the Metascore, and that was based on 29 critic reviews. But on the user score, it was a 5.5 out of 10. Kind of staying that line. I was like, yeah, it's average. It's good. It's a little bit better than that. Next, Letterboxd has this at a 2.6 out of 5. Again, they're just average. It's just a little bit more than average. On the Rotten Tomatoes side, the tomato meter, this would be the critics, are giving this a 37%. The popcorn meter, however, is sitting at 68%, which is about where I would be at. I think if I did the math, if I took the 15 divided by 25, which I'm not going to do, but if you want to, let me know. So yeah, I think I'm probably in line. that I probably maybe I'm a little bit higher than most. And I think for me it was just because I had a great time watching the movie. I got into the fog. They did that right. And I can look past some of the bad things. Like, yeah, the girl who was gonna get married is cuddling with the boyfriend, the ex, like the day after her fiance dies. I mean, look, there's bad stuff in there, but if you give me enough movie fog and if I'm buying it, I'm in. All right. That's it for today, guys. Lunch break reviews. If you agree, disagree, or just want to shout out about it, drop me a comment, tag me, or come grab a seat at the lunch table. I'm always looking for new voices, so if you want to co-host an episode, pitch your pick, or debate the score, my inbox is always open. Don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a 5-star review if you're hungry for more, and check me out on TikTok and YouTube for quick hits using the lunch break point system. Until next time, pack smart, watch well, and I'll see you on the next lunch break. Have a good day. Bye-bye.